G'day and welcome to Highlands Motorsport Park. Now you may ask yourself why I'm looking so stylish and suave. It's all part of the Enzed Festival of Speed here at Highlands Motorsport Park this weekend. Just a short drive from Queenstown, New Zealand's adventure capital. Behind me and around me on the grid, 33 muscle cars, consisting of the Enzed Central Muscle Cars and the Touring Car Masters from Australia. They're here for one reason, and that's to take home the Trans-Tasman Trophy. One apiece, the Kiwis have it, they want to hold it. And as you can see behind me, they're a true crowd favourite. The first time these cars have fought for the Trans-Tasman Trophy in New Zealand, and we've picked Highlands, mate. What can you say?
Oh, it's just such a fantastic facility, awesome racetrack. Great to have the Aussies here. It's going to be a great battle. I'm looking forward to it.
One of the Australians here this weekend looking to take that trophy home with him is Steve Mason. Now, Steve, the crowd here today and the fans, how good is it?
Mate, there's nothing in Australia that can compare to this track, Fairlingham. The layout that you've got here for the spectators, the drivers, the track is awesome. Got to take it to you guys. You know how to do it.
The weekend's turning out to be fantastic. What are the chances of the Australians taking that trophy home?
Mate, we're a big chance. Honestly, we are a big chance. If it dries out, I don't care how big your engines are, how big your wheels are, we're a chance.
The ability for the fans to come down here onto the grid, to meet the drivers, see the cars up close and personal, amazing opportunity.
Absolutely, the cars are the stars here. The drivers tend to have a bit sort of more grey hair than they used to, but these cars are sort of icons of Australia and New Zealand. They're all generally pre-78 and they have a wonderful and popular appeal to people.
What's it like to run in this category?
Oh, look, it's great, you know, and the guys, there's good camaraderie. It's phenomenally fast, and it's just a bit of an animal to drive, so it's good fun, you know.
The series is fantastic. It's very strong. Is it enjoyable to race these guys?
Oh yeah, look, there's a great bunch of guys to race with, and there's a lot of horsepower out there, and it's great to have the Australians here with us for this weekend, and you know, everyone's having a really good time.
Mate, the Trans-Tasman Trophy's up for grabs. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Perkins, who is going to give it us all this weekend to keep it on New Zealand soil.
So it's welcome to the Highlands Festival of Speed, connected by Enzed. Before we get to the Trans-Tasman Trophy, let's check out the highlights of the earlier races. Joined in commentary by 2012 GP3 World Champion Mitch Evans as we get away with the first race. An established muscle car star in New Zealand, Dean Perkins, being challenged early here by Paul Kelly.
Yeah, Paul's had to take him to the escape road there. Tightens up a lot to the first bus stop, and he's, I think, fortunately got away with nothing too serious.
Huge field here for the Enzed Muscle Cars Trans-Tasman Trophy. Perkins leading the early laps down underneath the Enzed bridge. Some fantastic racing right through the field.
And here we are on board with Glenn Seaton, coming into one of the hairpins. Really fighting the car here because of the moisture on the track, and look at him trying to get the power down on this beast.
Another one of the highlights, having two-time touring car champion Glenn Seaton here for the weekend, but it would be the Kiwis taking out the honours in race one with Dean Perkins in the XD Falcon, taking the victory ahead of Tony Galbraith. Race two would be a reverse grid start again in damp conditions, with some of the smaller capacity cars leading the field away and the fast boys with some work to do from the back. Opening exchange here between Glenn Seaton and Angus Fogg. That's Fogg to the outside in the 800 plus horsepower XC Falcon.
Now we've got Kasilki coming up the inside of Glenn Seaton. Oh, looks like he's locked the res there, and now, they made contact, and Glenn Seaton's gone around.
That has not gone well. These two teammates in the Touring Car Masters out of Australia, and that would end their race in race two. Dr. John Elliott was the early race leader. Unfortunately, he got it wrong here in front of the go-kart track facility at Highlands Motorsport Park. That would put Calvin Andrew into the lead ahead of Bruce Dreeden. Dreeden in that beautiful sounding Ford Mustang, but right in behind them, Dean Perkins, 850 horsepower going by the smaller capacity class 2 cars. Just as easy as that, and Mitch trying to get the power down in this thing, as we can see here with the spectacular Dean Perkins, is not easy.
Yeah, it just looks sensational, doesn't it?
So for the second reverse grid race, this time in the dry, and it was Calvin Andrew in the 888 Holden Commodore who took an early lead and held it to the end. Throughout the pack, racing was close as leading cars made their way through the field. Fogg and Kelly and Perkins running in close proximity on board here with Paul Kelly in the spectacular Pontiac Firebird. Look how busy it is underneath the Enzed Bridge, heading down through the carousel.
That's one of my favourite parts of the track, and it looks like Paul's got the head of Dean there.
Unfortunately, the red flag would come out for the second reverse grid race, an incident between Kerry Treloar's Tirana and Wayne Mercer's XYGT, which unfortunately meant both Australians were out for the rest of the weekend. Final race before the Trans-Tasman Trophy, and a change in the script as the pack make their way into turn number 1. Paul Kelly getting the jump here on Dean Perkins. His brand new Pontiac really giving the established gun a run for his money.
Big lock-up for Paul into the last hairpin there. He's managed to keep Dean behind him, which is a good effort.
And there was lots of action for the big crowd on hand. Michael Eden providing the highlights there with a big sideways moment in his Ford Falcon.
Yeah, these cars just look so busy to drive, and especially with these damp patches on the track, it's going to make them an absolute handful.
Angus Fogg battled to third, opting to run here at Highlands instead of his usual V8 Super Tourer. Behind him, Tony Galbraith and Steve Ross were followed by a trio of Australians led by Tony Karafanowski in his beautiful Ford Mustang.
Yeah, we've got Dean shadowing Paul here. Great racing between the two. If Paul makes any mistake, Dean's going to be right there to pounce on him.
Great run here for Paul Kelly because they've had all sorts of dramas trying to get this race car up and running for the Enzed Central Muscle Cars here in New Zealand. So a fantastic victory for Paul Kelly, holding off one of the established stars in New Zealand in muscle cars, Dean Perkins. Perkins was dominant here a year ago at Highlands Motorsport Park. Coming up next after the break, it is the big one, the Trans-Tasman Trophy presented by Enzed. Welcome back to the Highlands Festival of Speed, connected by Enzed. Time for the Trans-Tasman Trophy with a reverse top 10 grid for this one. Starting up front, it will be Gary Treloar in the 1972 Holden Monaro. Mitch Evans, big difference here between the New Zealanders and the Aussie cars, basically is horsepower and tyre size, and that's why we've seen the Kiwis sort of dominating up until this point.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be interesting with this reverse top 10 to see who can come through and see who can hold off the Kiwis.
It's an absolutely awesome lineup, taking the green, the start of 12 laps. The Trans-Tasman rivalry continues. Angus Fogg launches down the inside of Treloar. Bruce Anderson into the third spot, and we got problems.
Oh, we got contact at the back.
Tony Galbraith, I think Seaton was in there as well, and damage to the front of the Tony Karafanowski car.
3 wide into that first bus stop just never works. 2 wide's pushing it, so yeah, it's never good to see.
And if there's a racetrack in Australasia where you really don't need to win it in the first corner, it is here at Highlands Motorsport Park. Very, very difficult, very, very technical, as Keith Kasulki and Perkins giving each other the squeeze, battling for position.
Perkins come out top there, nice pass. And now we're on board with Glenn Season, trying to do the same as Perkins, but into the carousel. He's going to try to line him up here, try and get a slingshot with all that camber, and have another run on him to try and get him into the back hairpin up here.
The master Glenn Seaton in the Mustang they call Jenny, chasing Keith Kasulki. Dean Perkins working his way through the field, started towards the back of the top 10 with this reverse top 10 lineup for this 12-lap finale for the weekend. Race leader Angus Fogg. The Mount Shop number 11 XE Falcon, former Chris Allen car.
Well, Dean's got great traction out of the hairpin there. I think he's going to have a crack at least one, but maybe 2 of these Australian muscle cars.
Really difficult part of the racetrack. He's up the inside through the final corner. That is one of the toughest corners in Australasian motorsport. Fogg through the bus stop, down through the trees, and this right-hander, Mitch, just never ends.
Never ends, as we can see on board with Paul Kelly here. A lot of understeer, but it's just the nature of that corner. And you see him apply all that power on the exit to get the run down to the next sequence of corners.
Left-hand drive Pontiac Firebird as the rest of the field work their way around. Interesting to see there with Paul Kelly retaining that left-hand configuration and also running his Porsche Carrera Cup steering wheel on the car as we go on board with defending Central Muscle Car champ Steve Ross. Right, the battle is on. Dean Perkins now right up in behind Central Muscle Car adversary Bruce Anderson and the absolute weapon of a Pine Pack Mustang. That's up over 800 horsepower as well. Perkins down the inside. Easy as that, Mitch.
Oh, yeah. He's almost gone a little bit wide, but he's kept it together, and I think he's made it work.
Listen to the wheel spin. Listen to the wheel spin off the hairpin.
Sensational.
Huge RPM from the Falcon. Angus Fogg out in front in another Falcon chased by Paul Kelly.
Yeah, Paul's not letting him go here. Looks like Fogg, the rear end's just starting to squirrel out a bit as we can see right there at the hairpin.
Well and truly, the ever sideways Angus Fogg. remembers this part of the circuit well. A year ago, firmly planted his V8 Super Tourer in the wall here right at this part of the track, and I think there's probably a couple of his marks still left on there, Mitch.
Yeah, exactly, but he's managed to get through this lap, which is good to see.
Dean Perkins, the man on the move. Bruce Anderson in fourth as the chasing pack fly up over the NZ bridge. On board here with Glenn Seaton. That's Colin Meadows down the inside in the Jim Hall replica Chaparral Camaro. Problems here possibly for Seaton.
Yeah, looks like it, Jamie. It's strange, he's going very slow. Maybe it's that first corner contact's sort of taken its toll and he's got an issue now. But he's trying to get off the racing line, which is good to see as well. Good sportsmanship.
Disappointment there for Glenn Seaton, because I know he absolutely has fallen in love with this Highlands Motorsport Park. He peels off into pit lane. Absolute disappointment for the two-time Australian Touring Car champion. The battle rages on out on the racetrack. Still early laps here at Highlands for the Highlands Festival of Speed, connected by NZ. Steve Mason, former series champion from the Touring Car Masters in the beautiful little Ford Mustang, trying to hold off Keith Kasolki, and Kasolki is one of the finds of the Touring Car Masters over the last couple of years, on board with the Australian.
He's really fighting the car through the sweepers here. Obviously trying to get a run on and hopefully have a look into the bottom hairpin. He's getting close under brakes, but just still not close enough. And trying to get the power down is never easy with these cars. But it looks like he's got a great run out of here, and I think he's going to sneak up the inside coming to the chicane before going over the NZ bridge.
Kasolki gets the job done up over the NZ bridge. He is now the leading Australian with the four Kiwis up in front. Can he catch the flying New Zealanders? Brendan Mason sideways in the big block Chevy Camaro. As the racing continues here at Highlands Motorsport Park with action throughout the field, let's go onto the hill and check out some of the action off track as part of the Highlands Festival of Speed, connected by NZ.
So here at Highlands, it's always been about the fans. Not only the opportunity to get up close and personal with the cars, but the ability to have this vista to look upon. The fashion shows, the wine and food festival, and everything else that goes with the NZ Festival of Speed. So here we are inside the Wine and Food Festival, and an opportunity to showcase some of Central Otago's best wines. And I've managed to find James Dicey from Series Wines. James, what an opportunity.
Oh, fantastic opportunity to showcase our wines to the members of the public here at Highlands. It's a great opportunity for them to see what we're capable of doing.
Now, you've got a glass of wine. Is it as good as it's cracked up to be?
It sure is.
Is this your first one?
No.
That's good to hear, because here at Highlands you get a chance to enjoy the whole day, having a wine and looking out over the track, enjoying the music, enjoying everything else. Fashion in the field has been done and dusted here for 2015, and we have some very clear winners. Not only are they together, but they have an absolutely fantastic 1925 Vauxhall vintage car out in the classic car display. Guys, fantastic effort. Is this something normal for you?
No. This is totally out of the ordinary for us.
So this is not just reach in the back of the wardrobe and see what you can find?
Big effort required. Different outfit yesterday.
Two lots of outfits.
Two outfits.
I feel a little bit outdone, but hey guys, fantastic effort, and thank you so much for being a part of this Festival of Speed. As much as it's all about what's on the track this weekend, we try to invite the whole family. And as you can see beside me here, the kids getting some freebies from the staff at Highlands Motorsport Park. Good to have the family here enjoying it.
Oh, it's good fun. There's so much for the kids to do. Jensen loves the bouncy slide and the hula hoops and the water. It's heaps. It's great.
I've managed to crash a bit of a family party. Now, a couple of rev heads here, which is good to see. Young Emily, what's your favourite car?
All of them. I don't really know any.
See what I mean? You don't have to be a rev head to come here to Highlands. And guys, are we enjoying ourselves?
Yes!
Absolutely fantastic. So as you can see, it doesn't matter if you're in our corporate area or out on the terrace. The views are stunning. There's something for everyone at this year's NZ Festival of Speed.
And up next, we can look forward to an exciting conclusion to the Trans-Tasman Trophy here at Highlands. And we're back here at Highlands as the battle for the lead is really heating up now. Angus Fogg under some pressure from Paul Kelly.
Yeah, Paul's definitely been closing in on Angus over the past couple of laps. I think he's going to be trying to line it up over the next lap or two.
And behind them, though, is Dean Perkins, and he is absolutely flying. If Paul Kelly wants to win this, he needs to get by Foggy as soon as he can on board with PK.
A lot more steering movement this lap compared to the previous. He's really hustling it on the approach down to the S's. Oh, and Foggy's got a big lock-up. He's really feeling the pressure from Kelly behind. You can see Kelly trying to line up and stalk the rear end of Foggy's Falcon.
That's going to hurt momentum for Angus Fogg. Paul Kelly seizing an opportunity down underneath the Enzed bridge. Quick wipe of the brow. He is really trying hard. Launches it down the inside. And that really cost Fogg with momentum with that brake lock-up.
Yeah, unusual line by Foggy, but I think that lock-up just broke his rhythm up a bit. But now Paul's back out in front. Needs to pull a gap because we've got the charging Dean Perkins coming up behind.
All three of these drivers lapping in the 1:45 range. They're not that much slower than the likes of the V8 Super Tourers at most of our racetracks around New Zealand, 4 to 5 seconds. Again, there's no substitute for horsepower with all three of these cars as we go on board with Perkins with up over 800 horsepower.
Ah, it's just sensational. And just hear it revving up and through the gear changes just gets your blood pumping, doesn't it?
Here comes Perkins. He's monstering Angus Fogg, who's hiking the left front through the left-hander on the approach to reverse Indy.
Yeah, Dean's on a massive charge here. He's got excellent drive out of reverse Indy, and he's going to do a repeat as he did earlier in the race, up into the last corner.
And that is a tough pass. Even harder to get that drive down with over 800 horsepower and then get the pass completed before a very, very tough final corner. Now Paul Kelly's about to have his mirrors full of Falcon. Well, there's two in behind him at the moment, but it's the red one as he kicks up the dust through the bus stop. Dean Perkins on a charge, and he is flying on board with the Wild Man.
The car's balance just looks sensational. They've got this car tuned to perfection, and you can really see it while he closes up on Paul Kelly.
Well, he's had a lot more seat time in that car. Paul Kelly probably only his sixth ever race meeting in that brand new Pontiac Firebird. First ever time out for Angus Fogg in the third place Falcon, but this car is part of the Perkins family. Dean has been racing it off and on for close to 20 years, and believe it or not, it is actually a former police car as he goes down the inside of the carousel, and as easy as that, and Paul didn't make that too difficult, Mitch.
No, it was a bit surprising, but you know, clean racing from the two boys, which is great to see. And we'll see if Paul can hang on to Dean, but I think it's going to be tough.
Back in the pack, we have our Group 2 leader, Mark Holland, in the number 168 Chev Camaro. See the blue windscreen banner on the Class 2 cars. That is a brand new race car built by Angus Fogg. Team car to Steve Neuer in the second of the Moselle panel and paint shop cars, and you can see the attitude of that car. A lot more movement than we're seeing with the Class 1 front runners. This is Steve Scholes, beautiful number 33 Chev Camaro. He's got a bit of an advantage around this place because he's one of the Highlands Club members. No doubt he's done plenty more laps around here than many of the others in the field. 8th place, a brilliant showing for him at the moment. Just up ahead of Scholes is this battle for 6th and 7th. Australia's Steve Mason, former Touring Car Masters champion. A pretty little Ford Mustang being chased by a VK Holden Commodore. Steve Ross, who was the defending Central Muscle Car Series champion from 2014. Two very, very different race cars, Mitch.
Yeah, it's good to see them both tussling it. And Lockie's got a massive drive out of the last corner, and very, very brave pass and move into the first bus stop.
4th place, Bruce Anderson, the familiar Pine Pack colours, the E-frame Ford Mustang. Reputedly between 850 and 900 horsepower of Roush NASCAR Ford under the bonnet, and he's being chased here by the top Australian, Keith Kasuki, as Anderson goes off on the approach to the NZ Bridge.
You don't want to be doing that. That's going to create a lot of understeer in the car with that front splitter being taken off.
It has totally destroyed the front splitter, but then again, how much aero is there with a 1969 Ford Mustang?
You'll be surprised probably. It's obviously not, compared to the GP2 car, it's a little bit less, but the best way to probably drive the car is just to turn in a little bit earlier than you'd normally do, just to compensate for that huge understeer. As you can see there, he's missed the apex. So he's going to find it tough at coming into the last lap.
Well, Keith Kasolki's going to have the eyes on because he would be aware that Anderson went off in front of him. He may not be aware that the splitter is missing, but he is definitely closing in on the Kiwi, the very experienced Bruce Anderson. And I think Anderson's really going to struggle here on one of the longest corners in Australasian motorsport. And look how wide he is. Kasolki might sneak up the inside here.
Oh, that was a bit hairy there going through the southern loop.
Kasolki all over the back of Anderson. Couldn't take advantage through the southern loop. Anderson a bit compromised here as Dean Perkins on his final lap.
It's been a great performance by Dean today. And these muscle cars put on a sensation.
Oh,
whoa!
Cam Crawford's got around and behind. On the last lap, Paul Kelly didn't need that, neither did Trelaw, the Australian in the Monaro. As this battle for fourth continues to rage on the final lap. Anderson on the approach to the carousel. Kasolki can't get up the inside. Anderson just managing to hold on to it at the moment.
Oh, Anderson's missed the apex massively. Obviously really struggling with that front split and not being there.
Kasolki to the outside though. Can he get it done before the hairpin?
Oh, great effort. That's a tough corner on the best of times, so he's managed to pull it off with only a few corners to go.
So the Australian through to fourth. Bruce Anderson struggling now in fifth with that now missing front splitter, but out of the final corner, take about Dean Perkins. He will take the victory, and the Trans-Tasman Trophy will stay in New Zealand. Paul Kelly in second, and Angus Fogg in the Mount Shop Falcon. He will be a pretty happy third, and he lights up the rear tyres just for fun.
Even a thumbs up from the flag marshal. That's wicked to see.
So Dean Perkins with the victory, an entertaining finale for the weekend with the Central Muscle Cars taking on the Australians from the Touring Car Masters. Paul Kelly in second, Angus Fogg in third, and it's time for an expression session on the warm down lap. Dean Perkins and Paul Kelly will put on a show for the fans, and it's a big crowd assembled at Highlands this weekend, and they've certainly enjoyed all of the action, and it's not going to stop here as the boys light up the rears in front of a packed hill in front of the museum here at the Highlands Motorsport Park. And Angus Fogg, he's not going to be left out of it as well. He lights up the rears on the big green Falcon.
Well, here I am down in the pit lane with the three winners of the Trans-Tasman battle, and they're all Kiwis. Dean Perkins, is this the way you planned it?
Oh, look, it's been a great weekend. The car's gone really well. Good competitors. You know, big thanks to the Australians and to Tony Quinn. Highland Park's a great event.
Now, Paul Kelly, it's been a mixed weekend, mate. That Pontiac, absolutely fantastic. Did it go away it was planned?
Oh, look, it's a great bit of gear, and we haven't really done any testing in it. So, Ken's built a beautiful car, and Dave and Gav and Blaine have done a fantastic job on it all weekend. Great series, great park, great everything. It's been a great weekend.
Thanks very much, Paul. Now, Angus Fogg, how did it go?
Yeah, this is my 9th race of the weekend, so for an old fella, that's not bad, is it? I'm still standing. I tell you what, that beer's going to taste good. Yeah, fantastic weekend. Smile on my face most of the time. Had a little bit of a rough up with these guys yesterday, but I think we're all good and we'll have a beer after. And it is a fantastic series, and it's my big thanks to Hemi Toya, the owner of my car, for lending it to me. He's a brave man, and we certainly gave it everything they had.
The invitation went out. The Touring Car Masters came. You guys have put on a fantastic show this weekend. Some amazing cars. Glenn, what do you think of it?
I think it's unbelievable what Tony's done here, and you guys and the crew. It's sensational. It's international style racetrack. It's very, very challenging, I've got to say. Very enjoyable. I'd love to come back at some stage because this is nearly as good as Bathurst, and Bathurst is the best in the world, I think.
Keith Kasolki, no stranger to Highlands Motorsport Park. Completely different car this time. Was it as much fun?
It was more fun. I'd bring this car back here any day. It was just absolutely fabulous around here. I love racing the big XB here. These muscle cars love this track, and we love it. We certainly hope we can come back. I want to come back next year for sure.
We would love to come back. This is probably the best little track I've ever raced on. Tony's done a wonderful job. The organisation here is fantastic. All your staff, they're all accommodating. There's not a better track that I've been on. Thanks very much.
Well, you've heard it now. The Aussies want to come back. We want them back. We want more of them next time. So watch this space.